Let's take a look at some of these derivatives here from 7 through 14. Again, I'll spend more time on the posted review ones that I have, the solutions I posted for the review. But you guys have a lot of these already to look at based off of what's been posted for you from others. And so I think the most important thing, again, is memorizing, of course, some of the classic ones, the e's, right? So like for number 9, right, the derivative of right? The derivative of e to the u, right, is just itself e to the u times du dx, right, where you take the derivative of whatever that u is. So like on number 9, again, it would just be for number 9, and you have the answer, right, but again, it's itself times the derivative of u, and so in that case you would get cosine x. So it would be e to the sine x times cosine x for number 9, right, with that one. And so all of these really rely on the chain rule, and so keeping that chain rule in mind is important, that you have a function inside of another function, right? And so when you see something like that right there, that's inside the natural log. That's 1 over u. And so that u substitution becomes something that, like so in this one here, you can say, oh, e to the u, where u is equal to the sine of x, right? And so when you do something like that, these formulas then fall out. It would be e to the u, e to the sine x, times the derivative of u, which would be cosine x. And so that's where you get that answer. And the same thing here, u, the natural log, the derivative natural log of u is 1 over, right, the derivative of the natural log of u. Sorry about that. That's terrible. The derivative of the natural log of u is 1 over u times du dx. And so in this case, the derivative of x plus 2 is 1. So it just is going to be 1 over x plus 2 times 1. So keep that in mind. I think there were some questions, though, for sure on 14 that had come up. And if you go to the review, it's probably not going to be a waste of time here. Go and see how I really appreciated the breakdown of this on the discussion board for this, right, where you make these a function. You say that's u, that's v plus w, right? And this is, again, you don't have to do it this way, but I really appreciated that. U plus v plus w, right? And then you find what u prime is, right, within that. And then you find what is v prime. And then you find out what is w prime. So I would go in and take a look at the posted one for that. It's a really good work there. That had been posted already for that. But then you just find them separately, and then you go ahead, right? Because then I need to find u prime equals v prime plus w prime, right? And then we could figure that out with trying to find, in the end, we're trying to find y prime, but that will pop out, right? So like on the first one, it turns out to be 2x times y plus, right, if we're using for u, the x squared y, and then it would be x squared times y prime, right? And so then you start substituting those in. So keep that in mind. I think that was really excellent work that was shown for you guys. Also here, this inverse sine. You just have to memorize those 3, the sine, the cosine, and tangent. That's it. That's all you would have to memorize there with respect to that, taking the derivative of that. And it just matches up like all the other formulas, right? The derivative of that. And then it's just an x, so there's no chain rule that's needed there.